welcome back to the show. On the show today, we have Doug Smith from Doug Smith Performance. What an inspiring interview. We're gonna sort of turn the tables a bit, but
Oh
still
no.
stay related to your injury and everything. So, what I wanted to ask you, Doug, was when you did break your neck, who was the most supportive NHLer who was still playing
Oh,
for you?
all the guys that I was friends with were very supportive through the whole process. I'm the one that removed myself from that. I had to remove myself from hockey, or die trying to bounce back and forth somehow emotionally. So I completely abandoned it to the point where my both my daughters became star basketball players, and I started coaching and playing basketball. So I didn't have to go to the rink yet. I feel it with my daughters because they're at the age where they probably would have been fantastic hockey players because they're both extraordinary athletes, and I kept them away from the rink because I couldn't go there.
Really, but they were all still very supportive of the players.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very,
oh, the,
that's
the
great.
the players were, yeah, like everybody and especially players that suffered after I suffered. So Jimmy Kite had a bad accident. Clint Malarchuk, went through,
Yeah.
all the stuff he went through. So I become bros with those guys that were lived on the edge and just barely survived.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Now let's talk a little bit about your Hackney alumni. So tell us a little bit what's going
Oh
on with the Ottawa
yeah. I wrote
Senators
the
today.
original proposal to start the Senators alumni in 1992, and so it got going. And there's been all sorts of ownership things in politics, which nobody needs to get into. The new ownership of the Ottawa Senators is so special, and they're bringing on the people that you know are treating everybody like gold. Everybody's so polite, so nice, have a really clear picture of the future. They're not going in with any particular agenda. They're listening to everybody right now. They're listening to the organization breathing, right? And that space in between people and what's happening with the culture. So they're paying very close attention to the things that they need to pay attention to. Like I've never seen it before, really. In my experience.
Do a lot of the alumni show up for the games or support
Yeah,
the
we
team?
have a suite at Scotiabank Place, Canadian Tire Center. Sorry, sorry,
Yeah,
Canadian
yeah, yeah,
Tire.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
There you
we
go.
we have a suite there, a second level suite that is managed by the Sens, and we're able to go and you know
Like the Chris's show up, or Daniel shows
you have some
up,
cool
or
conversations, and hopefully, like a lot of people come. I've got to go to the Kiss concert. I'm going to go to the Kiss concert, which is being hosted by Magna Steel, who's a sponsor of the Sens alumni and stuff. So there'll be 10 people
wow.
from Magna there, and
And when is
I'll be
that? When
wearing
is
my
that?
high boots, and my jeans outfit.
That's great, Doug. That's wonderful. We love having you on. And actually, we love having you on so much that Doug Smith is now going to become a part of Press Box, our sports show. So we're really excited to welcome Doug to the team. He's going to be my he's going to be my co-host, but he's going to be extreme. We have to be extremely flexible with Doug because he's got quite the busy schedule. So we're so happy that Doug is joining us. He's going to bring such an insight, like from a professional hockey player. Like I'm just a fan.
It'll
I'm
be
a
other
hockey
people
fan.
bringing the insight.
So
People, there's so many stories that people can relate to and I know them, and I know it's going to help with the self-worth issue that we're facing as a society, because I think that's right at the top of the list. Is people just don't, their self-worth has dropped, and it has something to do with the amygdala, right, and the impact after an emotional trauma. So you can just do your reading on that.
well, your education is just at such a different level, Doug. Like when you come to talk about trauma, like you use such insight that it just makes so much sense, and you explain it so easily. Like you really
It's
do.
like
You really do.
it's like this, Jay. You know, it's like it's like being able to do this now, right, at this stage in my life, and be able to manage the spin, right.
Like people don't understand. You were like
I have
paralyzed. Like
no
you were.
feeling. I have no feeling and no extension strength in this hand. I only have my thumb and my finger, and I can manage a frisbee in a freestyle manner. Yeah, and I'm
So you golf too.
Yeah, well, my golf game has never been better, and I used to compete when I was a teenager. And then table tennis is my like if you want to do a sport, go to your local table tennis club and start because if your brain's tracking a ping pong ball, you're getting smarter as you play. Okay, so the relationship between tracking and your neurocognitive ability is very, very clear. Just go to the University of Montreal, look up Jocelyn Faubert, Dr. Jocelyn Faubert. You're going to fall in love with his work.
Boy, you're a wealth of knowledge, Doug. We really appreciate being on the show. So if people want to go find out more about Doug Smith Performance,
Oh,
where
you
could they go?
gotta you gotta grab the trauma code. You can just go to DougSmithPerformance.com. This is the one I'm reading right now. Actually, it's my one of my copies. And then the Thriving in Transition book that I wrote was the first book, and inside the book is how you can write your book. It's such a simple process. It's called 52 Pictures, and I'll explain it on the next show. But it's in here. You can have it, and those are my two books. And your
Wonderful.
Inner Physician in You was my guide. So thanks for having me, Jay. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Doug, very much. Stay tuned as we're going to be back. I got a few announcements to make. We're going to wrap the show. Again, you're watching Press Box on the show.
Oh, I'll show him a
we had
picture.
Doug Smith.
I'll show him a picture. A couple of pictures here.
There you go.
When we come back.
To break.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and I'll wrap the show.